Let's share a chart here. Let's take a look at two things next to each other. Before we do that, I'll change my candlestick colors due to like popular demand. Let's go to a lower time frame here, 15 minutes. Extend the trading hours on the 5 minutes. All right, good. Let's put this to the left. And let's take a look at cost. Go to the right. What's up, TK, as well? Good to see you. Right. I'm just going to add my next 2 FIB here for Costco because both of these things, Dell and Costco, are charts that are at an all-time high. That means that it looks bullish and that if the price comes down, might be very interested to take a long position. Wouldn't surprise me to see Costco basically do 922 here over the next maybe months or so. And it will come back down to make a higher low from here. And that would probably happen in that green shade area. So let's see on the lower time frame how we're going to kind of action what we're about to see. Nice 5-minute candlestick here already. So the first level of interest that I have for Costco below the current price, so we're trading at 806, is 788, then 771, and then 747. So I'm just going to observe this a little bit on the right. Dell wonky today. Yes, they have earnings, these two, Farouk. What's up top as well? We're taking a look at Dell and Costco. I do want to zoom out here for a second on Dell as well. So as I said, both of these charts that are all-time highs, that is bullish, but that does not mean that price cannot come down to test something lower down. So I'm going to keep 160 and 151 basically in mind for Dell as the first two levels of interest, which typically speaking, right, what we would want to see is a move below a level, getting back above it, and then forming an entry pattern. Our earnings usually on time? I assume that it's just now, right after the bell, that is usually they come out with these earnings straight away. And then you see the first two 5-minute candlesticks typically making a lot of movement both directions. And then typically price action dies down. So this is going to be, well, probably half an hour of looking at these things. I feel like anything after half an hour, what you'll see is that the volume just dies down and that wherever we're at, we're just basically crabbing sideways. And that's not all too interesting to look at. So the primary purpose here is for me to give you guys and girls, of course, some levels to mark out so that maybe tomorrow or later on in the week, we get to play from those levels. So I'm just thinking to myself, how would I want to see this chart move? And it would be exactly like this at either of these two levels. So how low is it going to go? I don't know. If we get, I would say above 173.75, I'm just drawing it out loosely, that would be a level to hold on top to basically consolidate on and then to aim back to the current all-time high. But in the bigger picture, both Dell and Costco, I expect that they are basically just a little bit, well, the NVIDIA is obviously the front runner of the whole market, but over the next, well, 18 months, I expect a whole lot of stocks to basically follow suit. Dell and Costco definitely being two that are probably going to rip higher after a while. So that is not to say that we can't come down, right? That would even be best. Let's see. So we're coming to our first level here already. Let's see if this continues down to the second level and then how it's going to react from that. So if you're long here, even though that's an all-time, yeah, Dell is down, but this can very quickly turn both sides, sir. So this is most certainly not something to trade on a lower time frame, actually after hours. This is more interesting because we need to be aware of where this is going to gap up tomorrow. And Dell beats first quarter revenue estimates as AI boom bolsters server demand. Interesting. So looks like we've already come to that first level. and probably we're going to make it to the second level. So if we keep going down, then I just need to have some more levels, right, to play from. So let's see what is the next level. Well, that would be over here, 139.9. So it's very simple, 160, 150, 140. Move below, get back above. So let's see. Second level is getting tapped now. Interesting. Um, well, if I see the chat, right, but that's completely not how I look at it. Ouch, Dell, it died. I'm looking at this, right, from the perspective of I don't know how low this goes. Nobody does, but tomorrow or later on in the line, I want to get the reversal back into the highs. Again, from however low this wants to go, this is not dying down. An after hours move like this, just to basically get a lot of people out of their position. So kind of see how well that second level is respecting, right? Always the trick to work based on a higher time frame level. So this is by no means necessarily all too bearish. You got to remind yourself to zoom out. So if you're on the daily time frame and you're seeing a chart like this and you're just coming down, well, that's an opportunity, right? Looks like Costco is making the move to the other side for now, but as I said, after hours, there's nothing to trade. I don't trade after hours ever. That is always during the regular market session, but it's interesting to know where these things are going to gap up, right? So Costco has upside to 922 over the next, I would say, weeks, if we keep just the ongoing trend intact, right? Let's see on a 5 minute here. So I'm getting some positive feedback here on the timeline on TradingView regarding Dell. Doesn't matter, right? The only thing that matters is how this price moves. Ulta reversed 371. I think I was looking at that chart yesterday with you, right, at Ulta, and I quite literally told you that that is something that I was not going to touch long. So if you zoom out of this chart, look, it is incredibly likely, and this I don't think it has earnings at the moment, but this is incredibly likely to keep making lower lows, to be honest with you. That is the opposite of a chart that is making all-time highs. This is a chart that, well, it was making all-time highs and now we've double topped. And if we get back below 368 here, there's a lot of room for this to fall down lower. But I'm just gonna move to Costco again because that was the whole point of of the being together here. Is looking at these earnings movements. Dell is most certainly interesting. So if this is going to see a huge gap down, all of this, it won't be visible on regular trading hours price chart, right? That will show like a huge gap if we open up somewhere way lower, for example, tomorrow. And then that might be interesting as well in terms of like day trading tomorrow. But we'll see how far it decides to go. So we're already down $20 in a couple of minutes here. Now this may very, very well and very, very quickly reverse. So like I said, there's nothing to trade after hours at all. I love you too, Top. Let's day trade tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's where you're the king, dudes. And by no means you're something special when it comes to day trading, Top. Something special in a very good way. But yeah, let's see if it can. It doesn't matter how low it goes, it just needs to hold somewhere. And again, Dell has a lot of room to fall back to and to still be completely fine. Um, that was quite a candlestick here for Costco as well, but seems like we're not moving at all anymore at the moment. Dell is dead for sure. I don't know what you guys are talking about at all. 139.9. If we keep going lower, then the only thing that is what we got to do is determine what are the levels of interest and below that. So that would be 134.12. And if it decides to fall back all the way into this gap, then we might see below $100 again, but that's an option way lower down. So let's just take it level to level. This looks like, let's see the volume on this as well. Should be probably rather low. Well, the volume on this 5-minute candlestick here for Costco after hours is quite literally it's nothing. So they're making moves. You also got to remember after hours, it's way easier to move the price significantly because there's way less liquidity in the order books. And that is something that will just reshape itself once regular trading hours come back. So after hours trading is quite literally designed to get you, well, to trick you into taking positions. From an earnings lotto option perspective, yes, I love that comment so much, Latvian. Absolutely. If I don't even understand what you guys are doing with earnings lottos like that. But whenever I hear some like the word even lotto, I'm thinking to myself, oh damn, that's like, why is that even necessary? Like, is trading not good in and of itself that you have to take lottos? Like, is there something to make up for? I never really feel myself in the wish to take a lotto or an option. Like, it always comes with a sensible trading plan. Not never just, oh, I hope that this is going to turn out well. I mean, might as well just go to the casino and gamble on red, right? That to me, that's even way more fun. But yeah. Let's see, 139.9 and 134 are levels below here for DELL. That if I would see something on this like price tomorrow, well, here's obviously where I would like to go long in that circle. Once bullish market structure has already shown itself, so this is just knife catching. It's just important to know where to look. If you're looking in the voids here, the areas between the lines, and you do anything there, that's even more risky. An interesting move. All this stair step up and everybody going long here on DELL, for example, putting so people long stop loss on the higher low goes higher, stop losses get trailed below all these higher lows, right? Stair step up and then elevator down and then recovery later down the line. That's a typical one. So yeah, anybody who has a bullish option on DELL going into after hours, that is most certainly not looking good. Um, Actually, like to be completely honest, right? If I'm seeing most people trade options, I only like I look at that from the perspective of like what are they doing over there? Like everybody is just like not everybody obviously, but most people, right, are probably not going to do well with options, in my opinion. Now, so like a 4-hour close above 139 would be not Latvian. You're really like catching on very nicely, I would say. Yeah. So these levels that I've marked out, right, they come from the daily time frame, and that's ideally indeed what you want to see, Latvian, is a move below that level. And then if you close a 4-hour candlestick back above, that is a way safer, chiller swing trading position then, where you know where to put your stop loss. Because if it goes below a level, then gets back above, it will obviously it already has made a bottom somewhere, so you know where to put your stop loss, and then you play it back up. Absolutely. So from an equity long perspective, right? The lower this goes, the more bullish. Literally, the better, right? Once again, if you're just if a candlestick like this is very significant to your portfolio, like for example, right, if a 15-minute candlestick like this has an impact on your portfolio that is very significant, you're just already doing it wrong, both in the positive and in the negative sense, right? So a candlestick like that moves in favor of you, that should also not 2x your portfolio. If that's happening, then there's also a fundamental problem. Yeah, so literally a market structure like this, right? If I see this here tomorrow play out, most certainly between 10 and 11 a.m. New York time, I'm looking for a long position. So I already know where, I already know when. If I already know where and when, then there's most definitely nothing to try and fish out of the water here after hours. It is a very interesting move, though. The wider the gap, I mean, the better. And for Costco, this seems to move again a little bit. I'm looking at 788 and then 771 and then 747. And if it loses all those levels, 684. So there's lots of options on both charts. And on both charts, I really do have like a bullish mindset, which if you have a bullish mindset and you're long and you hope price only just to go up, well, that is not actually bullish. What is bullish is coming down and then going up more. So if that is the all-time high, the lower that DELL goes here, then the higher the next all-time high basically shoots. Let's see. I always click away these messages. I find that like highly distracting when they're coming with these numbers like, oh, well, Q1 did this or did that. Like nobody really well, for the people that do care, this is definitely not the stream because this is a price action stream. I'm looking at this and kind of planning out what I would like to see tomorrow between 10 and 11. That's what I'm busy with. Let's see. TK playing options, that does not surprise me at all. And spreads on Lotto, so only losing a little. I mean, if you have a way to hedge it out, TK, that is definitely more sophisticated and safer. Yeah, something like this would really be ideal. And then before you know it, price is back up at 170s, and if you are trapped into being bearish from lower down and into being scared and into reading like earnings, like all these reports, and then listening to the news, you'll probably miss a move like that. So Costco probably goes $10 lower here. It's very, very unlikely that it's not going to tap this level at this point, right? Very unlikely. There we go. DELL has been all over the place today. Yeah, I was also looking at the price action on that one. Let's see, that is the first level hit for Costco, but if it continues, right, gotta be prepared for a sequence of big red candlesticks like that as well. So that's a very good learning lesson. It's not because price is coming to an area where it might bounce that it cannot just go to the next area real quick. So let's see, that's close enough. What a shame that it did not just wick in that out. It's always satisfying to see price just wick into a level and react from it. And that tells you that you're looking at the right levels. Oh my God, Costco. And for the new people as well, right? If you see big candlesticks like this, at first that seems kind of like scary or exciting, but there's really nothing to it. This is just business as usual. There's nothing special about a stock like this going up $20 and then nuking $40 and then going up $60 again. So you got to stay calm, cool, level-headed, and that's what I like doing. Equities, just longing and looking for long options. I don't even have to bother looking at the short side for equities. Everything crashing today, crypto too. Crypto crashing. I had some very nice long positions on Pepe earlier today, and it seems like, yeah, well, we're just seeing a lot of volatility. That's it. But a lot of volatility that usually also happens before a big breakout. So why is price even going down? Is it because it's over, or is it because we're actually bullish, but they don't want you to sit in your nice, comfortable long position and to just make easy money? That's why they're going to paint the chart to make it look bearish before then running it up again, with people basically not being on board anymore. Meanwhile, also trapping shorts while they're at it, because realistically, right? If you're short, yeah, that's amazing. If you're in a short option, for example, and you're seeing, that's great. But if you even come to the chart at this point thinking to short, you're already like violently late, and that's probably not going to work out. Um, I just got new Bluetooth ears. Are they tellable or is the sound a bit choppy? I don't know, Charlie, what's happening with the sound. I'm also on StreamYard. Um, Good. And so yes, these earnings are out, and we're basically just moving along with price action. So I'm going to look at this for 10 more minutes, and then I'll have a good enough idea of where this is going to open up tomorrow. And that's really all we need, in my opinion, at least from a practical trading standpoint, right? And as we're a trading server, I think that's the most important thing, is that we're practically oriented towards traders. Got quite some people in here. Thank you for joining up. What's up, Dick? One of my pupils. Love to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm assuming, Dick, you're also not here to trade after hours, because from what I understand, you're also you're not in the US, so we don't even get to trade this, which is a blessing, to be honest. The fact that we don't get to trade this is quite literally designed to steal people's money after hours and to get them excited. Like when I see, for example, that, oh, Robinhood is now doing the 20, whatever it is, like you can now trade for even longer. I mean, that's completely absurd, because you can trade for longer, but the times that you can trade, there's less liquidity, there's less volume. It's going to be the sketchiest of the sketchiest. So that seems like a cool advertisement. Oh, we can now trade equities longer throughout the day, but realistically, like, think about it. That's a product, that's a service. You're buying a product, a service with that in and of itself. And they're not giving you that product or that service because they want you to make money, of course. So keeping level-headed, doing business on equities during regular trading hours, and playing just the simple long side, that removes a lot of these hidden risks in the market, which that's really how a trap works, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, trading after hours is a trap. It might seem enticing, and whoa, you see a lot of price action to one side, and you think to yourself, oh, that would be amazing to trade now. But the reality is that 9 out of 10 times, well, and it's always going to end up the same way, because it's sketchy in all ways. Even if you put a stop loss, for example, right? For example, you enter long here, so wicks below, closes above, and you quickly want to scalp it long, and you put a stop loss under this wick. Chances are incredibly slim that you're going to get stopped out at exactly that price. Your stop loss is going to be a market order, and where you get stopped out is going to depend on where they find liquidity to fill your stop loss. And so even if you try to trade decently and apply a stop loss, chances are incredibly high that it will not trigger, or it will only trigger after price is already here. And the same thing goes for shorts as well. So this is, again, this is important because you want to know, does it gap up or does it gap down? How do I want to prepare for tomorrow? So in my mind, right, I'm here. I would be thinking about the 10 to 11 a.m. window tomorrow morning and seeing how price is going to react from those levels within that time frame, when there's the most amount of liquidity and the best trade setups get formed. So that's literally here. Very small window opportunity, if you, at least for the day traders among us. So that's where I am thinking to myself. So if I could see, for example, this structure on a lower time frame, basically forming within 10 to 11 a.m. tomorrow, for example, from one of these levels, maybe tomorrow we open up somewhere and then we jump to 139.9, get back above during 10 to 11. Yeah, sure, that's a way better position. Um, Literally from all the aspects. So good. That is going to be actually my main plan for tomorrow is 139.9, 134.12, and I'm going to specifically look between 10 and 11 a.m. if we can get a deviation below one of these two levels and then get back above. Because right, people see down and negative, but the way that it works for me is I'm thinking about what are the percentage moves that we can play back to the upside. For example, from 140 back to 150, that's a nice move. Or from 134 back to 150, that's a 12% move. There will be bounces up. So that is what I'm going to prepare for. And the same thing here on Costco. So I'll zoom out for a moment. And zooming out really tells the whole picture, right? It tells you that some after hours news is never going to be, oh, now it's over. That's not how it works, right? Uh, let's go to the 5 minute here. So this green box is of a lot of importance to me, and then that 1272 fit lower down. So these are the levels that I want to play from. Same thing. I'll mark that out. Note to self tomorrow between 10 and 11 a.m. New York time, of course, looking for a move below one of these levels, either here or the top or the bottom of this green box, or the middle, but that would take me too far, or then coming all the way back to 684, which same thing on Nvidia, right? Nvidia is trading at $1,100, but before it made its way to 1,100, we had a nice correction back down, and very, very similar on something like Costco or Dell. You want to look at these corrections as opportunities, at least in my opinion, my thesis on the market. Good. So I'll put some alerts. Let's see, 771. I'll put an alert there. And also at the bottom here. So for example, what would be incredibly like a nice lucrative play that I'm thinking about for Costco, right? Say it gets below 750. So many people get liquidated and stopped out below that round number. And also the bottom end of an area of interest, if it gets below 750, the moment it gets back above, and then you play it back, for example, from 750 when it gets back above to 770. That's a 3% move. So instead of worrying about what is happening now, I'm always trying to actively brainstorm how am I going to make money on this after it's bottomed out somewhere. But that's really all there is to it for Dell and Costco. Let's see. So having alerts at these levels and then making sure that you're in the Discord and able to trade it with us tomorrow. That is going to be the play. So like I said, half an hour, I was going to look at these charts and give out some levels and thoughts. But there's really no point in sticking around for longer because, as I said, you get a lot of volatility, and then on the volume, it's always the same. That's going to die down. And yeah, that's all there is to it. I want to keep this as simple as possible, to be honest. Are you with us at 9:30 tomorrow? I don't know who it is tomorrow, but yes, I'll definitely be there, Farouk. Yes, but I'm not hosting the live stream, but yes, I will be there. I will be in the chat as well, and I will be looking at specifically these things as well. So I think it's Spookies, but I'm not sure if he's recovered from some medical stuff. Otherwise, maybe Ethan. I don't know who is going to do the live trading tomorrow. Top. Thank you, sir. But honestly speaking, man, you have your own very interesting system, sir, and happy to see you here. Ethan said he's covering for him. That's nice. That's very, very nice. I was in Ethan's stream today as well, listening. Always a good time. So I'll see you guys there tomorrow, of course. So let me end the StreamYard recording.